We obviously have to start with inspiration for this perfume. Where did it come from?
Well, actually, the fragrance started as an idea. I wanted to create the first ever black eau de parfum. And from there, I met with Nick Knight and then with Stephen Klein. And with Nick, we worked on creating the design of the bottle together. And with Coty Products, we worked on designing the smell of the fragrance. And with Stephen, we created the visuals. And to be honest, it was just an idea that came to fruition because I got to work with some really great people.
The black liquid, I would imagine the first reaction of the scientists and all the executives would be, well, that's impossible. Was that what they said?
Yes. But everybody always tells me my ideas are impossible, and then I prove them wrong.
How long did it take them to figure out a way to do this?
I believe it took them 6 months, but we didn't even have a deal yet, actually. Like, I wasn't even planning on doing a fragrance at all. I told Coty I would do it with them if they could find the technology.
And the #1 question is people worried about it staining.
No, it doesn't. It's entirely clear once you pump it.
All right, so we got to talk about the mini movies that you've made, which is something that people don't do. And how much of an input did you have? Is that all your vision?
The mini movies for the fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the films that I did with Stephen, yes, we did them together. He worked so hard. I'm so proud of him. I mean, he is a living legend, Stephen Klein, and, you know, maybe it's because I revere so many people that he has been friends with and that Nick has been friends with from the past that are no longer with us, that I feel very blessed to have legends in my life that are still living, that I get to watch them be brave and prosper. He's one of my most favorite people.
I would imagine, does your brain ever turn off? Because you say this was an idea, then we see how creative the mini films are. Is there ever a time when you just sit there and it's blank?
Well, why would I want my brain to turn off? Then wouldn't I be brain dead?
God, I hope not. Fame.
Yes.
It's what it's called. And you described it as, you know, the black liquid, that you wanted it to be a little bit terrifying at first to people. Is that kind of the way you look at the whole idea of fame?
I want it to be clear that it is dangerous. Vanity can be dangerous if you don't know how to manage it.
What's the reaction been from your fans on this?
They love it. They love it because they know that it's an extension of what I already create. I'm not going to put out or sell anything that is really random or have no connection to me or what I've created before. You know, it's coming totally out of everything I've done before and continuing to push the boundaries of fashion and technology with perfume now. And, you know, I don't know if I'll do anything like this for a while now. This is really, you know, something very special.
How shocked were you that people took you literally when you originally said you wanted the perfume to smell something like blood and semen?
I like to say all sorts of things to rattle people's cages, rib cages.
The perfume, anytime you'll ever do clothes, you think you could do something like that, or would it just be too out there for the average person to wear?
I don't really know. I guess I don't really think, I don't have an idea for clothes yet. I guess is what I'm trying to say is when I did the fragrance, I had an idea about a fragrance, so we did it, as opposed to someone saying, do you want to have a fragrance, and then us figuring it out. It wasn't really like that. I had a very specific idea. So I don't have an idea yet about fashion, but there's a lot of exciting fashion things that we're creating all the time in the house of Gaga for Art Pop, for the new application, all sorts of interactive fashion, and the fashion that's going to interact with the fans through the web and things like that. It's going to be a really interesting experience.
Any more of those mini films? Is that something that you could see yourself doing more and more of, not just necessarily with the launch of a fragrance, but just...
Well, for the new application, for the Art Pop application, which will be essentially a project that releases all my new music and other artistic mediums at once, that there will be lots of films in that, but I'm going to be working with all my director friends. It's not really going to be me. Art Pop's not really about me. It's about everyone around me.
Like who?
Anyone.
Just tell us how the smell comes about, because I think people sometimes think, oh, a famous person, they just bring you a smell and you okay it. Did you have an idea of what you wanted this to be like?
I wanted it to be very sexy. I wanted it to be very seductive, luscious, like a biting into a fruit. So it has that luscious taste of apricot, and even with the soap, you know, or the lotion, you almost want to eat it. I wanted it to be sensual, and I also wanted it to be a little bit slutty, you know. I wanted it to have, you know, that sort of the danger of a really beautiful stripper.
I like that.
You know, so that there's sort of that element there, and it's a fragrance for a woman that wants to be taken to bed, certainly.